we didn't have any real money management skills. We were just spending it as soon as we got it. And sometimes there were people in Rocksteady who would spend it before they even got home from tour. And that was just talking to their girlfriends on the phone. So there were things like that. But I never really thought of it as us becoming rich or anything like that, because we didn't think it was possible. I don't think we thought it was possible, you know. And we were too short-sighted to realize anything beyond the moment.
Okay. What about crime? Is it getting to a point where you're like, crime's still a possibility? It's still
crime
something?
was always a possibility and always happening. There was no difference back then between us going to do a show in Soho and us being hungry after practice a few days later and needing to go rob someone or go snatch a purse or or maybe winter's coming, we need a coat, let's go catch someone on West End Avenue because there's money over there on West End Avenue in Manhattan, and more than likely some person would be wearing like a goose down jacket that'll keep you warm.
Right. So that's always part of the life.
Back then it was, not now.
Right, okay.
Obviously.
Right, all right.
So yeah, we were still in survival mode because it's not like we were millionaires or anything like that. And even when we had the record deal with Virgin and Charisma, we were completely robbed on that one.
When was this?
That was 83 we signed the deal with them.
Okay.
But by 85 we were in court with them, and they were draining our money because how are you gonna go up against Richard Branson with a small amount of money in your bank account? And we had like $1 million deal, and I believe we each got about $7,000 out of that deal.
Sounds like the record business to me.
Yeah, but again, it's still something we had never expected in our lifetimes. And I think the hardest thing for us was not the idea that we didn't get to a certain peak, but after getting to a certain peak and not realizing where we were, and then having to come back home completely and realize, okay, those places you used to go to, like the Roxy and the places that you helped put on the map, you're now being told to get online, or having a hard time getting in, or realizing that, all right, there's a whole industry that's coming up now that you're not even a part of and not benefiting from, but you helped to create that industry.
Frustrating.
It was. I think at that time of my life, I was going through an identity crisis in the mid '80s.
Right. And because you guys blew up. You're in the movies. You're signing deals with Virgin.
Traveling the world.
82, 83, 84. And then someone decides in 84 maybe that breaking's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
And it's about disco. And now you.
Well, not disco. It became more about rap music and more pop music. Disco was pretty much dead by then.
Okay. And now you're going to those clubs that, like you said, you put on the map, and as opposed to being like, hey, Legs, get right in here.
Yeah.
They're like, get in line.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on here?
And some of us went back to school. Some of us got jobs. Some of us sold drugs. Some of us sold guns. And, those are the choices that we made, and that's why some of us aren't around anymore. And, you're looking at a bunch of kids who some took education a lot more serious than others. And then people who just felt like, I have to survive, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to survive. And then there were people like myself who juggled between both of them.
How'd you deal with that identity crisis? And when did you come out of it?
Oh,
or
man.
Are you still in it?
I think in the 80s, late 80s, I was going through it. And it got to a point where I didn't want to watch MTV. I didn't want to watch anything related to music videos or anything like that. I just didn't want to hear about it.
Okay, why?
Because I felt like they're there because of us.
Right.
Not just us, but you know, we were part of the reason why a lot of people existed in that zone. And
Even rap existed.
Yeah, especially rap.
Because of what you guys did.
Yeah, because we did the first tours that helped to expose all of hip hop. And, you know, and it's weird because I know we had no appreciation while we were doing it in the first place, but I kind of felt, maybe I felt like a sense of entitlement after, which is kind of...
Which is pretty fair.
Yeah, but it also seems bitter.
Yeah.
And I realized that, and I decided I don't want to be that person.
Right. When the Freshest Kids, there's some interviews with you, and you can see it. You're pissed off.
Yeah, but you know, in the early '90s, I had, you know, after watching so many people die after all that stuff, and so many of my friends, and I realized, all right, I want to do something that helps people. I want to do something that doesn't put people in the same predicament that we were in. I want to help kids to strive for their education. I want to be able to use hip hop like we were being guided to initially, to be a tool to manipulate kids who have this common interest, you know, and teach them the art, but also hold over their heads that you have to get a good education. I'll teach you, but you have to do the right thing.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, learn from the best minds in the world, and connect with a community of passionate people building the best versions of themselves. Just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.